Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All good to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's class. Today we'll be continuing with Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4, verse 35, and the chapter is entitled The Confidential Reasons for the Appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. I'm just waiting for Maharaj to actually we are waiting for him to turn on his camera. If Maharaj is ready to start the class. There's Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Prabhupada Maharaj.
Gauranga.
Haribol Maharaj.
Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrindam. Oops, lost the verse. Bhavat Kriya Vidinglin Se Ihakai Kartavam Asvat E Anyata Prayai. Here, the use of the word bhavet, which is in the imperative mood, tells us that this certainly must be done. Non-compliance would be abandonment of duty. So this is in reference to the previous verse. Purport, the imperative is applicable to pure devotees. Neophytes will be able to understand these affairs only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the expert guidance of the spiritual master. So these affairs, that means the loving affairs of Radha and Krishna, are not understandable to those who are still on the material platform. Only when they become elevated under the guidance of the expert spiritual master, then too they will be competent to hear of the love affairs of Radha and Krishna. Doesn't mean they'll understand it, but they'll at least be able to be competent to hear them. As long as one is in the material conditional life, strict discipline is required in the matter of moral and immoral activities. That's a very powerful statement. As long as one is in material conditioned life, strict discipline is required in the matter of moral and immoral activities. The absolute world is transcendental and free from such distinctions because their inebriety is not possible. So those who are on a lower platform, they won't be able to qualify themselves to understand or be competent to hear Radha Krishna's pastimes because they're beyond all moral and immoral activities of this material world. They're not immoral, but they don't follow the standard definition of morality. They have a category of their own. And as long as one is, but in this material world, a sexual appetite necessitates distinction between moral and immoral contact in the material world. There are no sexual activities in the spiritual world, although it appears to be. The transaction between lover and beloved in the spiritual are pure transcendental love and unadulterated bliss. So can you understand that? No, simply by the words you can't. The transaction between lover and beloved in the spiritual world are pure transcendental love and unadulterated bliss. In other words, they have nothing to do with morality or immorality that appears in this material world. One who has not been attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa will certainly be dragged down into the material attraction. So here is a qualification for hearing Krishna's pastime. You have to understand rasa, or be attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa. What does rasa mean? Rasa means mellow, or relationship. And there are 5 rasas that one can have with the Supreme Lord. Thus, to act in material contamination and progress to the darkest region of hellish life. I'll read that again. One who has not been attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa will certainly be dragged down into material attraction, thus to act in material contamination and progress to the darkest region. So, unless you verse with the principle of rasa, then you will see these activities to be material. Therefore, then you go to hell. But by understanding the conjugal love of Radha and Krishna, one is free. It's important to understand this verse, that from the grip of attraction of material so-called love between man and woman. So there is a spiritual benefit, a purifying benefit, one can understand. But if you don't understand, don't try to meddle into these affairs. And if you can understand, you'll become purified. And if you go farther in your misunderstanding, as it says here, you'll be dragged down into material, hellish life. Similarly, one who understands the parental love of Nanda and Yasoda for Krishna will be saved from being dragged into the material parental affection. So these things are antidotes for our shadow reflections that we have in this material world. If one accepts Krishna as a supreme friend, the attraction of material friendship will be finished for him. And he will not be dismayed by the so-called friendship with mundane wranglers, materialistic persons. If one is attracted by servitude to Krishna, he will no longer have to serve the material body in a degraded status of material existence with the false hope of becoming master in the future. A very clear distinction between the material and the spiritual. Similarly, one who sees the greatness of Krishna in neutrality will certainly never again seek the so-called relief of impersonalist or voidist philosophy. If one is not attracted by the transcendental nature of Krishna, one is sure to be attracted to material enjoyment. So one has to be attracted somewhere. So if you're attracted to Krishna, you won't be attracted to material enjoyment. If you're attracted to material enjoyment, it's very difficult to become attracted to Krishna. Thus, to become implicated in the clinging network of virtuous and sinful activities, this is moral and immoral, and to continue material existence by transmigrating from one material body to another. Only in Krishna consciousness can one achieve the highest perfection of life. Gyantamidandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksu Unnalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mao Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesa Sunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Panchakalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bacha Patitanam Bhavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. As we mentioned earlier, this verse is a continuation, or more or less an explanation of the previous verse. And most of us who are coming on today have not had any contact with the previous verse. So I would suggest that Anasuya, who's been following this verse by verse, can explain a little bit about the previous verse.
Maharaj, I have to make a confession that I missed the last verse because I had to do all deity service, but I can ask Parikshit because he was there for that. If he can say something.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisance to all glory to Srila Prabhupada. So I think it's best to read the translation first. Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and performs his pastimes to show mercy to the devotees. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him. And that is very, very instructive to us. Krishna comes looking like a human, and some people get thrown off by that. God looking like a human, they think that he acts like a human also. And therefore, he is just human and limited like everybody else that the human is limited. And that is the Maya that some people are under. But Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita that he reserves the right to cover himself to those who don't really believe in him or are not ready to serve him. So he comes, and by the mercy of a spiritual master, we are getting a good sense of who Krishna is, although it's just minute, but it's enough for us to get a sense of who Krishna is. He is a supreme personality of Godhead. Nobody is at this level. Nobody can be greater than him. And when he comes in his own will, he shows mercy to the devotees, as has been explained here. And when we hear the pastimes, one should serve him. So that connects very much to the next verse, which Maharaj has already started talking about. Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, that point about human-like pastimes, he is not human, he is always transcendental. And as you nicely explained in a very succinct but clear way, people misunderstand. And unless one is understanding these principles, as the word bhavet indicates, then they should not try to enter into them. Bhavet means this certainly must be done. Our duty is to understand, or try to understand. Non-compliance would be abandonment of duty. Imperative mood means certainly. So one must certainly hear about Krishna's pastimes, but then again, Prabhupada qualifies this. He says this imperative is applicable to pure devotees. First statement, neophytes will able to stand these affairs only after being, go up the page a little, only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. And then they will be competent to hear of the love affair. Otherwise, people will think, as has been explained, Krishna is just like me, maybe a little bit better. That's all, because that's the reference we have. We see things in relationship to what we know or what we do for our own, in our own life. And therefore, people superimpose this idea that these love affairs between Radha and Krishna in the material world is simply similar to what is the boy and girl in the material world. But they're not. The difference between gold and iron is both are metals. One is very base and ordinary and quite available. The other one is rare and very valuable. So both are metals. So everyone thinks, well, all metals are the same. Then you can give then they'll think any metal is whatever they want it to be, because all metals are the same, or all metals are gold, or all metals are iron, either way. So this is myopic vision or limited vision or stunted. It's ignorance, basically. Therefore, it says here, one has to hear these affairs and be elevated by regulated devotional service. So regulated devotional service is a preliminary for understanding these, which leads to the spontaneous devotional service where one can enter into these areas and hear and chant the glories of the Lord in his intimate pastimes in the spiritual world. So we go back to the first statement. This imperative, as the word bhavetic, is applicable only to pure devotees. So we may not be pure, but we have to at least, it says here, we still have to follow the morality of the material world. Distinction between moral and immoral. Because people will surreptitiously or try to imitate Krishna's pastimes in the spiritual world by performing these same pastimes in the material world with other living entities. And this becomes an abomination. It is just some lusty desires, which is somehow played out as being similar to Krishna's pastimes. It has nothing to do with them. So then again, what is the understanding? The understanding is in the spiritual world, especially in Vrindavan, everything is on the platform of pure love. So what does pure love mean? That there is no personal motivation for any of the activities. Everything is motivated for the pleasure of the object that they want, that they're serving. The gopis are completely free from they may dress themselves nicely, but it's only because it will please Krishna. So the gopis will do everything that appears to be like young girls do in their day-to-day life, but they have no personal interest in this. They do it only to please Krishna. And if Krishna is not pleased by that, then they'll completely discard it, although it's in line with moral principles. So this is a little bit of the understanding of how love plays itself out. It's not about personal interest. The gopis were willing to go to hell just to give a little dust on their lotus feet so Krishna could be relieved from their headache. So their only desire is to please Krishna, and there's no limit by which they will do anything to please Krishna. And Krishna will also act in such a way as to please his devotees by reciprocating their love in a way that they also feel completely happy and satisfied. And his motivation is simply to please his devotees. So that's the realm of pure love. There is no personal interest. But in the material world, there is. No one will enter into a relationship unless they can get something from that relationship. There is some motivation. Even if it's a slight motivation, it's still a motivation. Prabhupada talks about how in the material world, people will break their relationships when the partner that they're with no longer fulfills their desires, and then the relationship starts to deteriorate and it continues, then there's a break in the relationship. But in the spiritual world, no one is motivated by their personal interests. They're all motivated to please Krishna, and Krishna wants to reciprocate their love in the best possible way, which gives them a great amount of pleasure. Even if Krishna does not accept them, just like we have the verse from Radharani or Lord Chaitanya, it says, Aslishiva Pararatavikinastumam Adarshanam Marmahatam Karokivam Yatapatava Viradati Lampato Madpranam Nasti Sa Eva Nataraha. Lord Krishna, who is the lover of many devotees, may embrace this fully surrendered maidservant, or may trample me with his feet, or he may render me broken-hearted by not being present before me for a long duration of time. But still, he is nothing less than the absolute Lord of my heart. So, the pure love is not influenced by anything the object of love does. It stays pure, even if the object of love does not apparently reciprocate their love. Here, another verse. O Lord of the poor, do what you like with me. Give me either mercy or punishment, but in this world I have none to look to except your lordship. The Chataka bird always prays for the cloud, regardless of whether it showers rain or throws a thunderbolt. Now, using that example, it's the same as that verse that we just quoted. A devotee will stay fixed in their loving relationship with Krishna, no matter if Krishna reciprocates or doesn't reciprocate. He always reciprocates by sometimes not reciprocating. It's another form of reciprocation. Here's another prayer by Madhavendra Puri. O my evening prayer, all good unto you. O my morning bath, I bid you goodbye. O demigods and forefathers, please excuse me. I'm unable to perform any more offerings for your pleasure. Now I decided to free myself from all reactions to sins simply by remembering anywhere and everywhere the great descendant of the Adi dynasty and the great enemy of Kamsa, Lord Krishna. I think this is sufficient for me. So what is the use of further endeavor? So he's willing to give up all his regulated principles because he thinks, what is the value of such thing? I'm simply focused on loving devotion to Krishna. Another one by Madhavendra Puri. Let the sharp moralists accuse me of being illusioned. I don't mind. Expert in Vedic activities may slander me as being misled. Friends and relatives may call me frustrated. My brothers may call me a fool. The wealthy Mammonites may point me out as mad. And the learned philosophers may assert that I am much too proud. Still, my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, though I am unable to do so. And the last verse, which again is all in the same principle, religion, economic development, and sense gratification are celebrated as three means of attaining salvation. Of these, Ikshatraya, especially knowledge of the self, knowledge of fruitive acts and logic, and also politics and economics, are different means of livelihood. All these are different subjects of Vedic education, and therefore I consider them temporary engagements. On the other hand, surrendering unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu is a factual gaze in life, and I consider it the ultimate truth. That's spoken by Prahlad Maharaj. So rejecting all other principles and focusing completely on the lotus feet of the Lord in devotion. Of course, that can only be done by one who is on the spontaneous platform of attraction to Krishna. If one is not, as this verse cautions, or the purport cautions, one should very carefully get elevated through regulated principles and follow the principles of morality as given by the worldly persons. Otherwise, one will think that Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's activities, and my relationships with them are similar to what goes on in the material world. That's the essence of this here. So to misunderstand is easy, to understand is very difficult, but one can qualify themselves to understand simply by focusing completely on the lotus feet of the Lord, by following the instructions of the spiritual master, and dedicate all of one's time, energy, resources, words, intelligence in the service of the Lord. Then one will get a glimpse of what is pure, transcendental, loving affairs. Otherwise, it looks just like something we do in the material world, and therefore people will think, well, if Krishna can do it, I can do it also. If you go down the page, there are many more statements that support this idea. So rasa, it means relationship. So there are different kinds of rasas: servitorship, friendship, parental affection, and madhurya rasa. Rasa means mellow, or the sweetness that comes with a particular contact with Krishna. So, for instance, there is, just take the category of sweets. So you have different kinds of sweets. You have maybe burfi, you have rasgulla, you have rubbery, you have ordinary candy, you have sugar cane, you have, everything is sweet, and all contains elements of sweeteners such as sugar. But there's a slight flavor difference in each one of them, which makes each one unique in itself. So the sweetness are there in all of the relationships with Krishna, but the flavor of the sweetness is more or less according to the type of relationship that one is engaged in with Krishna. And the topmost form of sweetness, or concentrated sweetness, is madhurya rasa, or conjugal loving affairs with Krishna, which we can read about in the Srimad Bhagavatam in the 10th canto. But in order to prepare oneself to understand these, one should carefully read the Bhagavatam canto by canto, going through all of the cantos very carefully and hearing about Krishna's pastimes as the creator of the material realm, without understanding his position as the supreme source of all existence. One will not have a foundation for understanding Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan, because that same person will look like an ordinary person. But when one understands that that same person is the cause of all causes, Iswara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakaram Karham. He is the beginning, middle, and end of everything. He's in everything. He's in between everything. He is the cause of everything. He exists in all aspects of existence, both spiritual and material. Only then, when one gets a preliminary understanding of the nature of the absolute truth, Sri Krishna, then one can begin to understand his pastimes in the spiritual world, which look like ordinary pastimes of boy and girl, but they're not. There's nothing ordinary about them. And whether it's Madhurya Ras, or Sakya Ras, or Vatsalya Ras, or just Dasya Ras, even here, Shanta Ras is mentioned. So all of these are a certain flavor that comes by way of a certain relationship that one can develop with Krishna. Many religious traditions just talk about God as the Father and we are his children. That's like a somewhat of a parental relationship. And the father is the provider, the children is the ones that get provided for. But that is not bhakti, according to the Vedic scriptures. That relationship is and Krishna becomes the source and the object of giving pleasure, and not the source, the one who gives pleasure to me. In other traditions, they're always asking for God for something. We're not asking for God for anything, because the principle is to give to God. God has already given us everything. There's nothing that we have to ask him for. But we ask him for devotion to himself. And therefore we follow that principle of trying to please Krishna. That's why Prabhupada would say, in some traditions, they say, my dear Lord, give us daily bread. But we say, my dear Lord, what would you like to eat today? So it's quite the opposite. And so we don't ask anything from Krishna but to serve Krishna. And other traditions, in that mood of parental relationship, that God is the Father, he is the one that's supposed to provide everything, and we're the ones who receive everything. And if we're a good boy and girl and follow his rules and regulations accordingly, then he gives us everything. And the more we get is an indication of how good a devotee we are, which is not our philosophy or practice. Our practice is to think about how to please the Lord by rendering service in different ways to the Lord. And that's why these different rasas or mellows, relationships, exist, because as they manifest themselves in the material world, they're shadows of the real. So when the relationships that we take on with husband and wife, with children and parents, with lovers and beloved, with friends in different ways, all of these are perverted reflections of the reality that exists with Krishna in the spiritual world. So going back to that consciousness means to perform these activities with the desire to please Krishna, not to the desire to get some benefit, material benefit from service to God. So here's a little bit about this verse and a little bit of how it's exclusive in accepting that the highest and the most relishable and for the great souls, the only activity is to absorb themselves in Krishna. That's all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Marge, for such a beautiful class, amazing points, and definitely a lot of food for thought, a lot of thoughts that we have to check ourselves. So thank you so much, Marge. Would like to ask Prakshit to stop sharing the screen, and if we can request devotees to please turn on your videos wherever you're at, so that we can have each other's association and see each other. And if you have any questions, please do raise your hand, and I will call upon you in the order. That way I don't miss anyone. While others are thinking, Maharaj, I have a question, Maharaj, and I'm trying to understand, but I don't think I can. The last sentence in the purport, sorry, in the verse, Maharaj, in the translation, wait, I have the wrong one. Srila Prabhupada translates it as non-compliance would be abandonment of duty. What does that actually mean, Maharaj?
I think it's in reference to the previous statement. Read the whole thing.
So, okay. Here, the use of the verb bhavet, which is in the imperative mood, tells us that this certainly must be done. Non-compliance would be abandonment of duty.
So read the previous verse. Translation.
Krishna manifests his eternal human-like form and performs his pastimes to show mercy to the devotees. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to him.
The non-compliance with not engaging with service to him, it should not happen after hearing Krishna's pastimes. That's the non-compliance. Refers to the translation in that verse.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. In other words, one should serve Krishna. In non-compliance, one will be, what does it say? Non-compliance. One cannot.
Abandonment of duty.
Yeah, abandonment of duty. Yeah, right. Okay.
It's just the way it's said. It's so powerful and so strong. Thank you, Marge. Thank you so much. Yes.
Chaitanya Charitamrita is very philosophical.
Yes, Marge, it is. Thank you, Marge. Yes, Sridevi, go ahead.
Thank you, Anusuya. Dear Guru Maharaj, my most humble obeisances at your lotus feet. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, I want to ask this question about the 5 different rasas. Does the rasa of master and servant, that means the dasya ras, does it include feelings of parental affection between like father and son? Like the master, at least in the olden days when my mother would describe how they used to take care of the servants in their home, she said they were like our children. We took care of them in every respect and they were very loyal, very faithful and served us. So similarly, in our relationship with Krishna, God, our Father, is it possible that even as a servant, I feel like his child and that he is my father?
Yeah, well, it's not a matter of feeling, it's a matter of acting in that relationship. What is the duty of a child to the father is to obey the instructions of the father. That becomes the primary duty. And das, in the word dasya, means whatever service that I'm been asked to do, I should do that in regards to pleasing Krishna. It's not that just carrying out the activities, it must be pleasing Krishna. So I don't think you can compare, master and servant in one tradition to another. Similar, but there's always differences there. As I explained, in certain traditions, the disciple or the servant sees himself as the recipient of all of the benefits that the master gives. But that's not our mood. Our mood is to please, to serve.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sridevi. Yes, Damodar, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj and all the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Uh, so, like, very perfect words, I would say, for me, that it should be done, and whatever services are there, and even about, like, it also relates to daily sadhana. So now, like, earlier I was staying with a devotee. Now I'm, like, moving out, and will be staying alone in that situation. When you are alone, not around with the devotees, it becomes difficult to keep the sadhana, like, on track. Um so, like, there are lots of things. There is morning Bhagavatam, there is YouTube, like, we can watch devotional videos and stuff. But and I have a schedule, to do certain things. But when time comes, it, like, the mind is very difficult to, do those things. So, like, how should we go ahead and see to it that the sadhana is maintained?
Well, if difficulty is the consideration, then we're not understanding the principle of bhakti. Whether it's difficult or not difficult, do it. That's all. If you know something is right and it should be done, then you do it. And then the question of difficult shouldn't enter into the consideration whether I know it's right, but because it's difficult, I won't do it, or I can't do it. Then you're not understanding the principle. Because difficulty will be there sometimes, and sometimes it won't be. So if you're forced to accept a situation that will compromise your ability to practice Krishna consciousness, then you will be in a situation where you'll have to work harder to get what you got easier before. That's all. So if you want to go that way, fine. But then you should understand that what was available easier now is harder. But because it's devotion, it should be done. It's not a matter of, well, it's difficult, therefore I won't do it. Prabhupada didn't let difficulties and deter him from, crossing the ocean, landing in a foreign land, and trying to start a movement with a bunch of hippies. He had his mind fixed. If you want to be successful in anything, you have to fix your mind on the goal and go for it. That's all. Those who are one-pointed in their activities are successful. So difficulties may be there. They may not be there. It doesn't matter. Just do it. Find a way to do it.
Thank you, Marge. Marge, if I can piggyback on that question that he asked is, Marge, how does one develop the understanding of how does one fix the mind on a goal? Like, how do we get to that stage?
You apply that, and we apply that in our material life, right? For instance, what is very common, when a woman wants a particular man, she just focuses on him, and she'll do whatever is required in order to achieve her goal. A serious student in a university, will push everything else aside and just study and go to all the classes and, give all time and energy to getting good marks. So the goal in Krishna consciousness is pure love of God. Pure love of God allows one to go back home, back to the spirit. So when we understand the goal, then the difficulties are not really difficulties anymore. They're opportunities. That's all. But because we're what's that verse? Vyasa pekha buddhir ekeha kudanandanaha. Bahusakya yanatas cha buddhi yoga visayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one, O beloved child of the Kurus. Those whose minds are irresolute, those whose intelligence are irresolute, it's many branched. So if you have many goals at the same time, you're going to be what they call all over the place. Focus on what you want and go for it. You want to become Krishna conscious, you have to do whatever's required to follow the process that leads you to pure devotional service.
March, as you were speaking, I was remembering a phrase that Sri Prabhupada put in the purport that I was going to ask, but you answered it, as strict discipline is the phrase that Sri Prabhupada used in the purport. Strict discipline.
Ekavrata. One-pointed. If you want to read a good book in relationship to that, it's a book that was penned by His Holiness Shivaram Maharaj. It's called, what's that verse? Sankalpa Kumodi. Sankalpa Kumodi. It's about 800 pages, but it focuses on 4 principles, which are the principles of success in bhakti. Read the book, it's worth it, and there's a lot of knowledge in the book.
March, you said it's called Sankalpa Kumodi, right? Okay.
Somebody put it up on the chat there, you can see it.
Oh, okay.
Somebody can write it up. Sankalpa Kumodi. Kumudi. Kumudi.
Okay.
Sankalpa Kumudi.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj. Any questions from devotees that you would like to ask? Please do raise your hand. This is a very deep topic, but yet very, very sweet. So if you have any questions, clarification, please do raise your hand. Maharaj, a question that I have, Maharaj, and it's in the previous verse, 434. Maharaj, what are the symptoms of a sahajya? Characteristics of a sahajya?
Symptoms is pretense. Pretentious. Performing activities to impress people rather than, it's just about impressing others by their activities. There's no substance to it. The word sahajya means to take things cheaply. That's what it means. So if something is valuable, but you take it as ordinary, then that's sahajya, or taking things cheaply. It's just as one is cheating themselves, but they try to it's just making a show out of bhakti. That's it. By trying to exhibit some of the characteristics of a pure devotee. That's it. There's a class of spiritualists, at least they call themselves that. They're called the Sahajiyas. That's their names. It's one of the asampradayas.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you
We have not, we don't give them any credit at all.
Yes, Marge. And I really liked how you said that it actually means take things cheaply. That was really powerful, making a show of bhakti. Thank you, Marge. Yes, Bhikkhu Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj, please accept our Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Maharaj, earlier in your talk, there is a mention about the eternal human form of Krishna. So say during his appearance in Vrindavan, Krishna appears in his eternal human form. Is that form different to the human form that we are? That's
Obviously. If you're talking about difference in looks, no, he's got one head, two arms, two legs. He looks like us, or we look like him. But it's not material. It's pure spiritual. All of Krishna's forms are spiritual. That means they're not under the influence of the three modes of material energy. Although it appears to be similar. So,
yes, that
all of
helps.
all of Krishna's forms are eternal.
So wherever he will appear, it will be in the spiritual, eternal human form.
Yeah, human form simply means like us, that's all. But it's not human. You can't apply that word human onto Krishna. Because human means us, mundane, eternal, transcendental form which he appears in this world, which is similar to the forms that the living entities have in this world, that's all. No one uses the word human form so much as a description for Krishna's appearance in this world, because it doesn't follow the rules or the principles of ordinary humanity. It's transcendental. It's pure spirit.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhikkhu Prabhu. Marge, there's a question in the chat from Dear Krishna, and he said, Marge, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Shri Prabhupada, all glories to you. How to know if someone is pretending, especially when we are new in the Krishna consciousness process, so that we do not end up being influenced by the pretenders?
Just kick him and see how he acts.
Marge, I was waiting for an answer like that.
If he accepts the kick, then you know he's real. Yeah, when one Sahaji
He
came.
said problem solved, Maharaj.
Yeah, when one Sahaji came to see Prabhupada, Prabhupada was in his room with one devotee. And he came in and he started rolling on the floor and exhibiting some ecstatic symptoms in front of Prabhupada, trying to show off. And Prabhupada told his servant, just go kick him. And he did. He kicked him and the guy got up and ran out. That's how you have to deal with these guys. You know, it's like,
Marge, is there a second plan besides kicking Marge? What did they kick back?
they're so engrossed in their illusion and they think they don't know where they are. Well, if
Thank
someone
you.
if someone is making a show of Krishna consciousness. In other words, becoming duplicitous or hypocritical. You may not be able to see that. But it'll come out in what they say and how they perform their activities. And you can recognize it.
When you say perform the activities, Marge, are you talking about how they will perform the devotional activities if it's according to the process?
They may also appear to look like that, but usually they have a material motivation for their so-called spiritual activities. They're trying to gain something material. Power, position, recognition.
Thank you, Marge. Thank you. Any questions from devotees? Marge, I can tell that you had another busy, spicy day today. You look so tired, Marge. I feel so bad you wouldn't ask more questions.
As long as we stick with the subject matter, I'm fine. As soon as you starting to praise me, then I want to shut the computer off.
Oh, no, I won't. I promise. I'll ask Devi for questions. Devi, please ask a question.
So, Guru Maharaj, on this point of personal motivation, we are mixed devotees, and so we come into devotional service with so much baggage and so many, desires, etc. So, I may think, oh, I'm doing service with a mood of pleasing Krishna, but underneath, I may have a very strong motivation for profit, adoration, distinction, recognition, name, fame, etc., though I may pretend that I don't. So how to get over this tendency of constantly trying to see what's in it for me, like that?
Well, just come to me and I'll just take a stick and beat you, and then you'll be okay. Then you'll
We
know
are
what.
getting it, Marsh. We needed this.
Then you'll know what's in it for you. It'll be like evident.
Devi, first it's the kick, now it's the second one. So we got two answers.
Well, you got to deal with things as they come.
First the cake and now the stick. What more is left now? Take your pick.
The shoes. We missed the shoes.
Well, the shoes, in this case, it's the shoes are not effective enough. We need a stick.
The which is broomstick. Beat.
It's like when you're in Vrindavan and you're walking along, generally devotees carry sticks with them because the monkeys attack. So if Sri Devi and her monkey-like mentality starts to act like that, then we take the stick, and then after we sufficiently change her, we'll give her a banana. Then she'll be all right. She won't ask questions like that anymore.
Thank you, Maharaj. That was a good question, Shridev, because we all needed that answer. We all needed that answer for sure. We got the kick and we got the stick.
That was just for her. That wasn't for anybody else.
Maharaj, once in a while we could use the stick and the kick and the stick too, for sure, to wake us up.
Yeah, Jeep Jago, Gola Chandra Bole, Kota Nidar Jayo Maya Pisa Chire Kole, Jeep Jago.
Yes, Maharaj, absolutely. Amazing. Any questions from devotees, please do raise your hand and we can answer your question. And I'm going down the list to make sure that I didn't miss anybody. March, before we end, I was asked to make a quick announcement to remind devotees about the retreat in Italy. The registration is open. Mother Sukha Mataji just had me reminded me to announce it. Please, if you have gotten that email, please do register and please check out that information. March, yes, one round of chanting, March. Two, yes, March, no problem. we will do 2 rounds, March, as you
Yeah.
please.
If I can make it through the second round without falling asleep, then it'll be success.
March, we actually gave that service to Parikshit that whenever you do get tired, then he will jump in for you and then
He's been pretty efficient at that. Yeah, today has been interesting day.
you had to give your class again, right, March, for Bhakti Vaibhava?
Yeah, that was 2.5 hours from 3 o'clock to 5:30,
Oh, Krishna.
and then we started here at 6:30. That's okay. As long as everybody is focused on what we're doing, then I can stay with the program.
Yes, March.
Okay. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare.
Krishna. Ram, you know.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Rama, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Ram Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare
Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Rama Hare Hare
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, 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 Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Ram. Krishna, Krishna.
Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So
Thank
from
you
my
so much.
fellow devotees, thank you very much. And we'll begin again next week on Tuesday
Yes.
with the next class. But those of you who are coming, come even though if some other devotee gives class, come listen to class. They say no matter who gives class, you can always gain something from every class if you are looking for it. So don't relegate class just to when I give it, you should come all the time. I'm getting reports that devotees don't come on the other days, and that's kind of sad because the whole idea is to inspire devotees to hear and chant the glories of the Lord, and take opportunities to also, fit yourself with this knowledge and be able to come out forward and give a class too. This is the criticism in our movement. The movement is that only very few people are preaching and everybody else is just there, But this is not Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is whatever you learn, repeat. And as you repeat, you'll gain more. As you gain more, your remembrance will increase. And as your remembrance will increase, you become more adept at learning more and more and more. And it becomes really exciting, Krishna consciousness. But if you just sit back and just let everybody else do everything, we gave a class about a couple months ago on how to give a class. It was a structural presentation on the different considerations, points of interest, and techniques that we can apply to giving classes. Even if you're shy, you can practice by looking in the mirror and just give a class to yourself. And if the guy in the mirror raises his hand, you can try to answer the question. He's usually very favorable.
Oh, Krishna.
Scarlett is putting all of this electronic laughter thing. She said it 3 times today.
When I get really tired, this is what happens.
Maharaj, I was gonna say, is it good for us to make you more tired so we see the other part of you?
No.
I'm joking. I'm sorry, Maharaj.
Keep on the humor side. If you get too serious, then I'll fall asleep.
Absolutely, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Okay,
Right.
so by the time we see each other, it'll be 2024.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Hare Bol.
We're still on 8 o'clock. I mean, 8 o'clock EST.
No,
Still?
next week on it'll go back to 7. It's just only
7.
this week, Maharaj
Okay.
said. Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
giving Bhakti Vai Baba teaching, and it goes from 3 to 6 my time. And then usually I start my classes at 5:30 my time, so
That's too much.
I'm here for
Is
the
this your
late.
last week, March, of teaching?
This is my only week of teaching.
Oh, okay.
You
Must
might
be.
say it's the last, it's the first.
And the middle.
First and the last.
Oh.
Oh
I have a
boy.
group
March,
of,
we hope that you can get some rest tonight.
I gotta 12 students, 3 ladies and 9 men. They won't talk to me.
Maharaj,
Mm.
probably if you crack some jokes, then they'll talk to you, Maharaj.
No, this class will, I can tell it's just not in that mood.
Mm.
A little too stiff people, devotees.
Now,
There's
maybe
one,
they're more serious.
there's one girl, one girl and one guy in the class will laugh. So that's 2 out of 12, that's 1/6.
Oh, okay. That happens sometimes. Scarlett is laughing electronically again.
I can make Scarlett laugh, then it's worth it just being here.
Oh.
I was thinking, how is it possible that she could laugh? I wasn't thinking it was possible, but you never know. Krishna consciousness can change people really fast.
Yes, indeed, Maharaj, just with laughter. You know, Maharaj, actually, when I first met Bhakti Tirtha Swami in 92 or 91, I don't remember. And the first in our 1 hour meeting, he just told me, Anusuya, well, at the time I wasn't Anusuya. He said, you come to me and I'll protect you with my M16. That was it.
He's probably still got it pack. He's still packing it. So.
Yes, Maharaj. So with his imaginary M16, I joined. Yeah. Oh boy.
All right, I better go before my power blows out here.
Yes, Maharaj. And get some rest, Maharaj. Please take care of yourself, Maharaj. And we thank you so much. We thank all the
Hare Krishna.
devotees for joining us. Vanchakraptibhyascha, Kripasindhabhya, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
His Holiness Candramauli Swami ki jai.
Jai. Thank you,
And,
Guru Maharaj.
and
Hare
advance Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, and same to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you and same to all.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Happy
Krishna, Bhakti. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Oh.
Krishna.
Jai.